Mayor Rudez.
Present. Let's please stand for our pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
General public. Any general public comments? Phyllis Saunders. Wait a minute. Yeah, we got some attendance. Yeah. Can I have a motion to allow Trustee John also to attend electronically, please?
So
Moved by Trustee Tyler, second by Trustee Williams. Roll call.
Mary Lewis, absent. Mel McFadden. Both sides. John Folger.
Both sides.
Will Thompson.
Both sides.
James Williams. Both sides. That's okay. Trustee Brooks. Both sides. Mayor Rudez.
Okay, so now we'll have Trustee Donna Folger. She'll be participating via telephone. Mrs. Saunders.
Hi. Hello, Mr. Mayor, trustees. First of all, I just want to say I am happy to see economic development happening in our community. However, things need to be done decently and in order. There have been a lot of presentations about proposals, there's stoplights being built. None of this has gone before a commission. I have not met. I've asked for notes to previous meetings, and I FOIA'd it in September 1st, to be honest with you, and I've been ignored. I've been ignored by the commissioner, I've been ignored by the clerk. I don't know if notes were handed in to the clerk, so I have nothing to go on to work on this commission. And I feel like things are going forward, and people are voting on things. And is this, Trustee Williams, is this customary? Is this the way it was when you were a commissioner on the planning commission?
No, it shouldn't work like that. You should have been giving me your minutes from the Madam Clerk. But we always had meetings. We had them in this room. We had a court reporter. We did everything according to the record, the way it was supposed to be done. So, I mean, even that hemp shop, anything that was coming here, we had the right to vote on. Now, I know that the mayor may say different, say, well, there's certain things that don't have to go to the plan commission, but for the most part, they should be going to the plan.
I wanted to be part of this record. I'm sorry. I wanted to be part of this record that I have not received any FOIA, I have not received any minutes, and this is not in order. Thank you.
Well, Mrs. Sanders, let me just give you a point of reference. The planning commission only meets when there's a proposal for a change, for a variance, or a special use permit. Outside of that, that's when the planning commission is.
Excuse me, Trustee Williams, how frequently did you guys meet?
I'm just telling you the facts.
We met quite a bit, and it was for variance, it was for signage, it was for involving?
None of that is happening. I'm sorry, something is wrong. Because everybody's coming here with ideas and you all are voting on things. And I'm looking at a parking lot that's Carvana that was, you know, surprise to some of you because you didn't know what kind of, so what is happening? I want to know because it's not in order.
That is out of order, and I agree with you.
We need a whole.
Good evening. My name is Renita Hill.
Bill, I'm sorry.
I'm not very good at public speaking, but my parents and I have been out here for over 20 years. And earlier today, I would like this to be on the record also. Earlier today, I had an incident with the chief police over there. I called University Park Police for assistance because my father passed away September 9th, Reginald Hill. And my sister has been really like putting me through a lot as far as trying to take custody of my 10-year-old and things of that nature. I have a 17-year-old also, Jamarnia Jones, who attends Cremoni High School. My son is with me, and I have a court order for them to relinquish all of his personal items. So I called University Park Police. I didn't come over to my parents' property or anything until they arrived on the site. Once they arrived, I got out of the car, and I showed the other officer who was with the chief. I showed him my motion, and I also showed him the court order because it has specific items that they needed to give my son. And it just seemed like upon arrival, they just seemed a bit irritable because everything that when I tried to express to the chief what was going on, he stopped me right while I was speaking to him and was like, I'm already aware of what's going on. And he seemed to, like I said, be a bit irritable. And I don't know the other officer's name who was there on the scene, but he does. He was like talking to my brother who was inside my parents' home. And he started bringing out like these really big garbage bags. Now I'm parked on the sidewalk, I'm not parked in the driveway. So these bags are big, and my brother is, because I mentioned my son PS5, that's one of the items that he really wants because that was the last thing his grandfather bought for him. And my brother was coming out and he was saying some unpleasant things, and I'm not gonna lie, I was exchanging some unpleasant words as well. And the chief was trying to pretty much hush me up, but he wasn't saying anything to my brother. Now I'm like basically walking from the driveway back to the sidewalk. My brother is bringing out these big, large bags like I stated. And the officer was placing them right by my brother's vehicle, which is in the driveway. I asked the chief if he can help me. He said no, he was not gonna help me, and he did not help me. And I had to bring those bags, it was about 2 bags, I brought them by myself, and I was literally struggling with them. So I asked him at one point, because he just kept saying stuff to me like, we don't have to be here, you called us, we can leave. And I was like, well, if you feel like that, you can leave, I can call someone else. And he was like, I'm the chief, so it don't matter if you call someone else, I would just tell them not to come to the car. So, as I stated, they were bringing the bags. I was like, I'm gonna pull in the driveway because it would be more convenient for me, because again, these men were not helping me. He told me I could not park in the driveway, that would be criminal trespassing, and I said, how? I don't have an order of protection or anything out, like the states that I can't be here. And then I ended up getting like the last bag or whatever, and I had made a report to University Park 2 weeks ago about my sister stealing my son's and I mail. I knew that she was taking our mail because I have the Daily Digest mail signed up to my parents' home. And my son had been getting letters and report cards from Cremoni addressed to me, and also he had been getting scholarship offers. So I knew she had been stealing the mail. So I turned around, I made a U-turn, and I went to the Randolph's house. I also have video on Facebook Live showing all of this. I go to Mr. and Mrs. Randolph's house. Well, when I pulled in front of their house, he told me he got to knocking on the window, trying to like tell me that I couldn't be there. I said, why? I'm not bothering anyone, anything like that. And he was like, well, if you want to visit them, you have to park around the corner on Blackhawk. So I said, I'm gonna do one better for you. I reversed back a little bit and I parked in their driveway. When I got in their driveway, he was still saying things to me. I have this on Facebook Live again, as I stated. When I got out of the car, him and the other officer, I got out of the car, walked up to the Randolph's porch, I rung their doorbell, and they got to like just approaching me like they were gonna arrest me, and I was scared because I called you all for help.
Let me just stop you for a second, please. We have rules, and I'm gonna allow you a little extra time by the rules. The general public are 3 minutes. If you would like to talk to the chief of superior after the meeting or to the sidebar, I would appreciate you talk to Mrs. Scott.
That's fine, because I have bruises on me because of the way that they manhandled me and everything. He literally, it was two men, they didn't read me my Miranda rights. He picked me up underneath my legs by my buttocks and everything. My wrist is swollen, I can barely move my right arm. This wrist is all, this is crazy. And I called for help. And they gave me 2 citations, and he charged me with disorderly conduct and obstruction and resisting. But they never read me my Miranda rights. He never told me why I was being arrested or anything. And that's my whole reason for being here at this meeting. Because that's not fair. And I do have it on video. And Ms. Robin was also on the phone with me while half of this was going on. Up until I got to the Randolph's doorstep.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, trustee. Randolph's are your neighbors on farm?
Yes, they live right across the street from my parents' home.
Okay, trustee.
Ms. Hill, first of all, again, because I think I got a note from one of you as my wife and I did try leaving a card in the mailbox for your loss. And especially for what you all are going through. Something like this should not have happened. You do deserve professionalism. And I think every board member up here would feel that something like that would be investigated.
Please.
So if you can, Ms. Scott is our village manager. She is his boss. We are their boss. And we will follow up on that. And we would like to know what happened at a later date if you can. And especially with me, considering a former police officer.
He was even trying to tow my vehicle that was parked in their driveway.
Unacceptable.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know the details.
Don't get upset.
I don't, yeah, right. I agree with you. Don't get upset. I know it hurts, especially.
Yeah, don't talk about this. Let ladies talk.
Right. So, Mayor, if we can, I think we all agree as a board that this is something that will let the village manager follow up and then the chief can do his ass, whatever process they need to go through. Considering we all know what happened with her father with the sudden death.
Everybody deserves that courtesy.
Yes, I need my time.
Robin Walker.
Hi everybody. I am here for a few reasons, that being one of them, as we just heard, and I was on the phone call for half of that, but I came here to just ask the chief, because I did tell her to call the police to get escorted, to keep from there being any issues. And so when I was getting the call back and heard all of the stuff, I was a little bit disappointed as well. So I did speak with the chief as well. So if I was just gonna ask if it's all possible to please dismiss those charges, because she shouldn't, whatever happened, it shouldn't have escalated if she called for help. So I was here to ask for that, And then also on a good note, we just left the game, the Cremoni Middle School Lady Warriors. They won their regional game, so they should be going to the semifinals. And
Hello, Mayor and the board. And
Good evening.
just for the record again, I'd like this stated in the record. The word typo means error in spelling or typeset mistake. That's typo. Omission is inclusive, excluded, not to be submitted as a part of. Last board meeting, I asked why the committee people were not appointed, and they said it was a typo. I just wanted to make it clear the definition of typo versus omission. Next question and concern. How many of you are going to the NFL National League of Cities tomorrow?
Gonna be where?
In Atlanta, Georgia, tomorrow. How many are outdoors? Anybody attending? How many other trustees are going?
Are the trustees going to the?
I have a long question. Who's going? Just a question. Who else is going? Pardon me?
How is no one here?
No, I ain't going.
Okay.
If I'm going, I'm paying myself. So, okay.
Are you going? Yes,
Yes, I'm going.
Okay. Okay. That's all, but I want to know for the record, when you said there was a typo, that it wasn't in the last agenda, typo again. It's a typeset of material. I understand that, sir. Yeah, I understand that. And it's a spelling. It's not an omission in the agenda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No,
The typo that you're referring to, what is that about? What typo?
well, last time.
Don't be so quiet.
Ask a question. I'm sorry.
Ask a question about what?
Why were we on the agenda? Why was the other people that wanted to be in the committees and commissions on, when we said it was a typo? So I wanted to explain what the typo means.
Good evening, board, mayor, everyone. My name is Bernice O'Brien. I'm a member of the University Park Community Block Club, and I just want to remind everyone and the viewing audience of our Family Vision Day event on Saturday, November the 18th, from 1:30 to 4. And you have to RSVP, and the number is 708-476-4133. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone there, seeing you all there specifically. And also December 2nd, the Community Block Club will be hosting our annual Christmas ornament exchange from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the University Park Library. Please bring a wrap Christmas ornament if you would like to participate, and we will have light refreshments will be served also. And then also on December 18th through the 30th, we'll be having our outdoor Christmas decoration contest. That's all I want to remind you.
Mrs. O'Brien, what time is that on December 2nd?
December 2nd is from 10:30 to 12:30.
That's Saturday. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was good, Mr. Bishop.
Just a quick question, is that something that we can put on the marquee? Or, I'm not sure, I know that when I was at the last,
No, it's a community event. Let's ask someone this time. Just get the information.
Ms. Trust had, that was a question that Ms. Trust had on Saturday, but I meant to call you and ask.
Ms. Truss.
And that was it. Ms. Trust, the mayor answered yes. I know you had a question if it could be put on the marquee on Saturday when you asked that question.
That's all I'm doing.
He said yes. Remember, he told me to remind you.
Okay, what question are we talking about? I have so many.
The community.
The events on the village marquee. For the community block.
Right, for the family thing or this coming. Right.
Okay.
He said yes, it could go on the marquee. Remember, he had that question at the meeting?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So he just said yes. It could happen. They can put it up there. So just reach out to Eagle.
Just send me information.
Right.
All right, Deborah J. Stroud. Yeah, just send me information for this Jenkins.
Okay, from now on, I want all of those to be included. You said that the will, you guys here?
It's a matter of record, let the record show.
It's really not up to him, it's really up to the ability.
Mrs. Morgan, stop that now. Mrs. Beverly Stroud, I got to nonsense tonight. Mrs. Stroud, please.
Is that true, Mayor?
No, I just want you to, I just want to clear that it will be up there from now on. So, Block Club members, it's a community block club, that's all over the village. So we will be advertising that, we are a non-for-profit organization. So these are family events that we are sponsoring and putting on.
Mrs. Plus, it's Mrs. Stroud's turn at the podium right now.
I can't see in the rear, so I don't know if it's her turn.
Yeah, I just called Mrs. Stroud, she's the last one to put comments.
Okay. I was just trying to sort of think about what my mother said. Don't interrupt the person when they're talking.
Thank you. Mrs. Stroud, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Board, those present, those viewing. Just want to kind of reiterate on a question I had before in regards to if the University Park Library, if the Public Works Department, if the Police Department, and the Fire Department has bilingual staff. I'm asking again, does the Village Hall have any bilingual staff in reference to the asylum seekers that we have in our community?
No, we do not have anyone currently in the Village Hall that's bilingual. We do have individuals in Public Works. I'm not sure about the library, and we
The
also...
library does have bilingual staff, yes ma'am.
And then the other department that you inquired about, Police Department, yes, we do have one.
No, I wasn't inquiring about the police department. I know they do have bilingual. The fire department does, and the library, and Public Works also.
Yes.
So I'm still inquiring about Village Hall.
And I said Village Hall is not current.
Okay. Can you give perhaps some kind of guesstimate if it's being sought out, if it's on the radar?
Yes.
Any
It
status?
is on our radar. It's definitely a plus. If you are bilingual, as always, when we hire individuals, and we are looking out for that because we do recognize that there's a lot of asylum seekers here now.
Okay, does that mean that there's staff that you're looking to hire?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Ms. Betty. All right, that concludes our general public comments. We'll move on with business discussion items. That's item 518, is discussion on the 2023 tax levy connected with 2024. Yes, sir, Doctor. You want to go to the podium, maybe? Whatever's good, as long as everyone can hear you, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about the tax levy. What we are doing is going to be doing an increase, but because the overall tax levy, you are losing your bond because you guys are paying off, this is the last year of your bond levy, all those dollars.
Hold on one second. Guys, we kind of hold it down. Everybody's trying to get this presentation regarding a very serious matter. Please proceed, sir.
So we are moving all the bond levy dollars into your operating levy, so the overall change in the tax levy will be a net zero. So what we are doing is your operating levy as of the 2022 year, which was last year, was $6,426,331. The bond levy was $482,352 for a total tax levy of $6,914,683. We are moving that $400,000 related to the bonds into your operating levy. Now, it is creating a operating levy over 5%, and per the state, the way the student taxation law works is if you're changing your operating levy, which is not counting your debt, you have to disclose it that you're going over 5. But the overall change in the tax levy is 22 was $6,914,683. 23 proposed is $6,914,683. So overall, the tax levy is not changing.
So I got a quick question, which is going to be a concern to everybody. The real estate taxes on our homes will not go up. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
So
The village portion will not go there.
Yes,
Yeah,
so,
village portion.
Because the,
so we won't be doing 4.99 this
because
year?
the bond is falling off.
Because of the bond, we will be doing 7.6, because we're moving the bond money into your operating.
But that still would raise taxes, wouldn't it?
No, because the bond, you're losing that bond. So the way the county works is the bond levy is automatically included, but this is your last year of your bond. 22 was the last year. So
Right.
because that is gone, all those tax dollars are being moved up into your operating.
What bond are you speaking of?
The general public comments are open, please don't jump out from the audience.
Okay, so this year, you're saying that it would be 7.6, is that what I'm looking at?
No, I would look at where it says 2023 estimated levy at the
Okay.
far right. So 7.6 is the operating levy increase, but then the 0% is the overall change. So we're going from 6,914,000 to 6,914,000.
Right.
You want to dance in front of this camera? Okay, this is me and the council.
Okay. So,
It's not gonna happen because I'm gonna ask questions.
okay, and I guess the reason why I am,
Kind of, look at something so different, look, you know, raise it.
we never really went over 4.99, and I'm not gonna lie, taxpayers pay attention.
I know that. Because
And
now,
my election is coming up. I know I just ran for mayor, but that's over with. Trustees back. Last damn thing I need is one of these letters in the mail saying trustee Brooks. You know what, you're right.
You gotta have some quiet in here.
Well, we need to have this understanding. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I am not going nowhere. I am not going anywhere. You better get some help. Because I'm just gonna lay down on the floor.
Okay, so,
Tell Joe I will sit here. I will.
Mayor, just for a quick second, I'm gonna do a point of order on the rules that, let me remind that the chair, actually, when we conducted the business in the committee of the whole, as well as the board meeting, attorney correct me if I'm wrong, usually after public comments, even the city of Chicago just passed their rule, and if I'm not mistaken, we do have standard rules where in the committee of the whole, the trustees, during the meeting at this portion, we're the only one that can speak, and that it is the mayor that gives the acknowledgement, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think I just gave it, so everybody, if you have a question, please, let's wait till after the meeting, okay? And I'm assuming, I'm hoping that Ms. Millie Morgan heard that. So Ms. Millie Morgan, I just went over the standing rule. I know your concern, but we are going with the standing rule, and that is, especially for something that's important for the levy, that it is only the trustees of this portion after the general comment that we can speak, that only the trustees can speak. If you have a question, you can have it afterwards. Okay, just hold your question. But the chair is in reference to you being removed, that's up to the chair. But I'm just saying, I want to give us a point of reference of the standing rule that if you have a question for something that's important, because this is important, because I'm being honest, I don't intend on voting for this. So you probably need to listen to everybody.
I want to listen.
Okay, so it's up to the mayor. I think you need to plead that with the mayor.
This is the meeting of the cow, and I thought we
Please be quiet and don't disrupt the public. If next out, you gotta go, so.
Okay. All right. Be serious.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let me say this. This is my comfort level. I am so used to 4.99. Election is coming up. Taxes go up just a little bit. I don't care if it's the school district. I'm just saying, no, I'm just saying. If the taxes go up a little bit, I don't care how much they love Theo Brooks. This don't look good. And it's real easy for my opponents to say, he raised the taxes. So, if you can just help me with that.
So There is no change in the overall tax bill, because when it comes to the residents' tax bill, they're getting the 6.9. They are not getting the difference between what's the operating levy versus the bond. All they're getting is the 6.9. And you're doing 6.9 to 6.9. There is no overall change.
Okay. So there is no, although we're used to it, and like I said, we've been doing it
since 2005.
Yeah, it's been 4.99 since 2005. So I don't want to make I trust you. But, I just want to make sure, because the residents hearing this, it's very easy for them to get, as you see, one resident already said, hey, that was one reason why I ran. You went from a tax that was I'm paying $2,700, the next year I'm paying $4,500. And I watched people in 2009, it was somewhat the same thing. They got crushed, and all of them lost their houses over there on Farmview and so forth, because of the taxes, because the taxes was tied to the FHA loan. So, okay, so explain that one more time, so the public, swing that camera, Neva, so we can put it on film.
So the tax, your levy in 2022 was $6,914,683.
Right.
The levy that we are proposing with an increase is going to be the net levy of $6,914,683.
So actually,
It will be exactly the same as last year, no change.
The only difference is that we're gonna have that bond payment in there. Now the bond payment's coming back to our money.
Correct. And we threw a good chunk of those bond dollars into your pension levies so that way we can help with the police and fire pensions.
right, which we had a problem with that before. I just want to yield a second to the village manager and ask Ms. Scott, what's your opinion about this?
My opinion is our taxes are not gonna go up. I discussed this with John and Chris in detail, and it's just simply because of the tax levy that we're eliminating. I believe it's an E-Series bond. The last payment is 400 and what is it,
455,000 is the principal, and then we have the interest that's related to that, which will come out in December.
Right, that's that last payment, right? That last payment, yes.
And this
Yep.
is the result.
The golf course.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word. Okay. That, I yield my time, Mr. Mayor, because as I say, the trustees, I know the residents, I don't think they're looking at it, but when the trustees see the change in the rate from 7.6, I think that make anybody worry, but just stick around in case someone have a question, because, like I said, this includes the tax assessor when Nancy Bartlett came in 2009. She did us a number. So we just got hit so bad, so the reason why I'm so adamant when it comes to is that I understand what it's like when you're not at work and you're getting hit with a mortgage that just pretty much your shortfall is like $600 in your escrow. And, it's because the board of trustees did something wrong. As well as the school, if I'm not mistaken, they almost said 9, but yet sometimes they point the finger right back at the Village of University Park. So we just, I thank you for that, and as long as you're on record saying,
Trustee Jim, got some more questions.
So you say the levy's not changing,
Correct.
but the assessment can change, right?
We have no control, the village has no control over the assessment.
See, the
So the taxes can theoretically go up.
Theoretically, they can go in both directions.
But not the part that we left. And also, but also, property taxes will go up just by cause and effect, because now the EAB of the properties are increasing in the community. So when we're paying taxes on a $150,000 house, now it's valued at $210,000. The taxes definitely will not be the same. So you will get an increase, and most people want an increase because they want increased values for their property. So that's when the taxes will go up without anybody controlling them or doing it just because of the area. The EAB is increasing.
It is. Yeah.
So, any other questions?
Yeah, this trustee Porter. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Trustee Coach, I'm sorry.
I wasn't able to really get everything, but could explain the need for the increase of the tax levy. We do not have, when we do not have the bond, because the bond is in the board, right? So we don't have to pay the bond anymore, so that should mean that we should have that additional, we should be asking for additional money. But what is the reason we ask for a higher levy amount?
Unless she's counting. Donna, Trustee Fulcher, I know that if I'm not mistaken, our last payment, our final payment is in December. December, yeah, it's coming up, we're approaching fast, so then it will be eliminated.
Right.
Right, but that was covered, that's covered for the last tax levy? Did we already account for that last tax levy?
No, we kept our levy at 4.99.
Right.
So we're accounting for us not having to pay it anymore. So we're asking for more. I just don't understand the reason for asking for more. From who's the representative of their talking?
I think that there's a misunderstanding, Trustee Fulcher. We are not asking for more. Is that the assumption that you're under, or is that what you're thinking, that we're asking for more dollars?
Right.
We are not. We are not.
But the tax levy, so what is the tax levy? I'm sorry, like I said, there was a lot of
Maybe you just had a conversation.
noise and everything.
Can you hear us?
I can hear, yeah.
Okay.
So, if I'm understanding your question correctly, what is happening, Trustee Fuller, is the bond levy is disappearing for the 23 year. So that you don't lose those tax dollars, we are moving those tax dollars into your operating levy. And we're moving it into your police and fire pension because the village as a whole, as with most communities in Illinois, we need to fund the pensions so that we can get to our level. So that's why a majority of what these tax dollars from the bond levy is doing is we are moving them into your police and fire pension levy so that way we can get them appropriately funded.
So that's the reason why we wanted to, that I'm calling the police. That's why I wanted to know what's the reason.
Yep, that's part of the reason, yes.
Okay.
Okay. We have a question from the audience.
Yes, sir. Do you know that we're receiving a new tax, a new taxing body? So we added to our tax roll, the new mental health. So how's that going to affect us? Because they're going to have their own board, and I'm sure they're going to do a levy. So how's that going to affect? Is that going to increase our tax?
It's a separate taxing body.
Yeah.
Something
The new one, the mental health. There's a new,
mental health facility?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And there's a board.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're gonna have their own board, so is that gonna affect it? Have you brought that in? As a part of this as well? No.
That would be another line item that would
That's
show
what I'm saying.
on
So
the
how
tax.
that's gonna affect too. That's gonna increase us in the amount.
The health.
It will increase the overall, but it will not increase the village's portion. We just control what we control.
Yeah, I know that part, but I was saying overall, it will be another increase to us, not from the board, but from this other board. From the Will County, it's gonna be another tax body.
Right?
Yes.
So we are having an increase.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes. So that new taxing body, which the village has no control over, will impact your guys' overall tax bill because that is a new taxing body. Was this a new program that was being offered, or
I'm sorry.
was that a new program that was being offered?
Yes, sir.
Who was running it prior?
It's a new one.
Okay, see.
So that's gonna have an impact on the people too.
Yes, but that would have had regardless of the fact. That would have had an impact on everyone's tax bill regardless of anything the village did.
Just FYI.
I think it would have been wise to have had our tax assessor here, Mrs. Hurd. And I think that the residents would possibly understand this, what you're saying. Because in my opinion, from what I'm understanding, whether it's from the board or Will County, there will be an increase.
Well, get ready for the school district to increase from the facility.
The village has no control.
Like it is.
So, but my point is, if our tax assessor, Mrs. Hurd was here, I think it would help us understand this. Yeah, to understand.
Yeah, it doesn't go on until later on in the month. Anyway, this is a discussion, giving us a little upfront on what's going on and what's proposed, because Mrs. Hurd does assessments, but she doesn't control what we do here at the village. All we can do is control.
Right, and I think what it was there, and my question to general public that I was trying to get an understanding is that every year we do have to set the tax levy. The point that I was making was that we were used to voting on a certain number. So what the gentleman is explaining is that with the movement of the bond, that no matter even if the number is higher, the tax rate is still, you know, the way it's still the same. It's not going to, the village, the portion you get from the village is not going to change. That's the whole concept that he's trying to explain. I know it's very difficult. I do agree with Commissioner Greer because, again, and this is for the general public where she made that statement. Again, when Nancy Barfoot came in 2009, she killed us. She said we were underassessed. So she took our homes, and I'm sorry, she jacked us up to the point that many of us lost our homes in 2009 to 2011. So, right, so it was not, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, the village, you know, Mayor Covington was a trustee, Mayor Rudez was a trustee. They went on a explaining campaign to say, it's not us, it's your tax assessor. The next punch that we had got was from the school district. So at no time that the village has ever, and if you look, we have never raised the tax rate. And so the reason why I made it important that I wanted to hear was because it would be the first time that if we vote more than 4.99, that's like a stranger to me. Because I'm so used to us doing something for so many years. As a citizen, as well as all the way up to as a trustee, we were at a certain level. And to be honest, I'll say this, I question, did we have money in the bank? And this is November? We have money in the bank, folks. For the first time since I've been trustee. I'm just saying, every other time we're broke or you hear what we're talking about, let's do a tar loan or something. We have not done that yet. The village is moving in the right direction. And those who know me, I'm not gonna lie to you. So it's money in the bank. So we're going in the right direction. I never lied to you, and I'm not gonna start lying to you. So the truth is that it would be it's a strange animal to me, but also at the same time, like the mayor said, the EVA of the village has gone up. We have all these things these projects that's coming in. So yes, that's even when we start talking about TIP 5. All these things are so important because now is the time that I've been preaching since 2017, really since 2019, that look, when by the time 2021 come, I told you money was about to come in. So we're at that point that we got to make critical decisions. And so here we are in a position that we can make a decision that it won't hurt us. Actually, we're making a move that actually will benefit us. You know, especially on paper. Right. So if you do, if the tax assessor is always available, I don't think Sandra Hurd is going to, you know, she's been pretty good about it. She has been pretty good. When I needed to deal with me, she gave me exemption on my home. So there are exemptions out there for our seniors. We don't take advantage in University Park. I'm sorry, we just don't.
See, hey, Brooks, and everybody, the thing that we really need to pay attention to is when they do the reassessments in the industrial park, because we really don't have any way of knowing unless someone slips up and says something, just like the appliance system applying for $800,000 deduction. You know, think about what we would have to do to cover that gap. So those are things that are really important when our assessor does not continuously connect us and make us aware when things like this happen in our industrial park. Those things can really be detrimental. So just a little FYI for everybody to know about what really goes on. Any other questions?
Wayne,
Yeah, trustee, I'm sorry.
I want to piggyback on what Trustee Brooks said. So don't think that your taxes are not going to go up. They can go up because it's not going to be us. It's going to be whatever the assessor does and for other reasons. And the other thing about the industrial park, when they protest the taxes, we should be getting a notice. The library gets a notice, and we fight it or not.
See, that's a good thing.
So you can fight it.
We just have to get
They always want us to pay out the tip. They're very quick, just like we made a point. I'm sorry, I don't mean to just jump into it, but it's a good point. Like I explained last board meeting, Clorox overpaid. They got overpaid. They were overpaid. This is our money. Clorox did not want to pay back the $750,000. So to show University Park, or call us incompetent, whatever words you want to call it, they said, well, give us a project you want in the community and we'll pay for that project because they don't trust us with our money. Now we overpaid them. We overpaid them. So that's my point when it comes to that the village in trying to in reference to paying attention to what goes on in those tips. Hey, my turn, I see my hand is
Mrs. O'Brien, and I will have Mrs. Morgan ask a question respectfully, Mrs. Morgan. Go ahead, Mrs. O'Brien.
My question is, I just need clarity. We're going from 4.99 to 6.99 or 7.6?
So your overall tax bill is going from 6.9 million to 6.9 million. So the overall tax bill, what the village is putting on their tax is 6,914,683. That is their dollars, but that was the exact same dollars that they taxed in 22. So there is no change in the overall tax bill. So what shows up on your guys' tax bill is 6,914,000, no change.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, her, Ms. Morgan.
Mrs. O'Brien, go ahead.
AOWMUCH.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
What?
Any other questions? We don't know. And then we're not raising it any. So you have to go to the school district and have it put at the school board, but it's 68.5% of the real estate tax, and go to the tax bodies that take the majority of our money. Because we do pretty darn well around here to maintain the level. I've been on the board since 2005 to now. We've been at 4.99%. We've done pretty good. The times have changed. Tips and things are rolling off. That's just a part of what we do.
I think, can I?
Yes, ma'am.
I think I was just referring to a statement that Trustee Brooks made. He said, we have money in the bank for the first time.
Okay.
I don't go by word of mouth. I need tangible proof. You know,
We're gonna stay on this. Yeah, I'm talking.
Go by word of mouth. We'll see it today and go tomorrow. We'll say again how much and what are you talking about? I've never said that, not saying that you do that, but I've heard that type of language. So, how can we get tangible proof? I like to see the paper. I want paper. I love paper. Cut up the trees.
Well, I'll say this, Ms. Morgan. Normally FOIA, you can FOIA it, but normally, let's be honest.
You say FOIA?
FOIA, yes, FOIA.
Who do I give the FOIA to?
The clerk is the one who deals all the FOIAs, not the mayor, not the manager, not the board.
Right.
Clerk's not here. So
She's never here.
Right, turn it village hall. Let me finish my statement. This is, and tell me if I'm wrong. Only the mayor is I'm trying to think who else. Or for those who have good memories in the audience. how many times since 2017, they're coming to you here, how many times we have to do a tar loan because the village falls short of money around November, December? We have not done that. We have not done that. So what I'm saying is, Ms. Millie, is that if, I'm not gonna sit here and know that, you know, the village is broke and I'm pretending. No, if it was broke, I'll be the loudest one. So foyer it, but what I'm saying to the general public is that our financial situation is much better. And I can we can go right off top. What did we do in May? We stopped giving the golf course, well actually it was a little bit before that. We stopped giving the golf course $78,000. Do you know how much money that? Come on, that's over. We were getting almost $750,000 a year. So we know that's in the bank. And I'm not even gonna begin the money that we have been making. So we're going in the right direction, but for what's in the bank directly, you can for it, but I just ask that we pay attention to that. We're not going on the same path we've been doing in the past by borrowing money.
No, we have borrowed.
Yeah, we were borrowing money every November, December, and waiting until June, almost like June, July to pay it back, and we were steady going through the same cycle, in which we're not in that cycle no more. So we broke that cycle.
Thanks because of the election, and we got some trustees.
All right, next question, then we're gonna move on. Mrs. Saunders.
I have a question piggybacking off of what Trustee Jewel said. We get key tabs at the library and our lawyers contest it. Why don't we contest some of these things in the industrial park better? How did Clorox happen? Where's the lawyer?
Yeah. When we find out, we do contest it. But unfortunately,
How do you not find out?
the assessor doesn't notify the village. That's how we know. That's how we find out. She does not notify the village.
Now it's on the assessor. I don't understand.
That's
Key
it.
tabs should come to the.
No. They apply for reassessment. It goes to the assessor's office. It doesn't come to the village. Go ahead, Mr. Jones. Then we're going to move forward.
Okay, so I don't have a question. I would just like to speak on the fact that Ms. Covington did bring up that there will be another taxing body on our taxes. And I can speak on that because I am the president of the mental health board and we got approved for a $10 million levy. So yes, you can see, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a drastic because most of that money will be coming from the school district on our taxes, but ours is just a smidgen, 10 million from us will be a taxing body on our taxes.
Thank you. Any other questions of the board? Thank you so much, sir. Board, I'm going to ask to do something real quick. I'm going to ask to move item 51E up right in front of game number 51B. Is that all right? Mrs. Parker and Carmel, move up. We don't want our ladies out there by themselves at nighttime too late, so that's okay with everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Come on, Mrs. Parker.
All right. Thank you, Mayor and trustees. I am always delighted to be here. Take great pride in servicing the Southland, and I'm just happy to be here tonight. So I was asked to be here to answer any questions that there may be as it relates to some of the programs that we offer for streetlight incentives. So a couple of things that I can tell you. Right now, there is an incentive that we have that will provide energy efficiency dollars towards the reduction of energy for any street lights, traffic signals, interior municipal lights, parking lot lights, basically anything from the government entity's perspective, we do have incentives for that. I also know that there are 2 applications that are pending with ComEd right now, totaling about $90,000 in incentives that we've had to consistently kind of make the request to roll over, but it will sunset December 15th. That opportunity for those incentives will go away December 15th.
Our incentives, basically.
Yeah.
So, what I don't know, typically every year we offer some kind of incentives, rather it be for the municipal partners, rather it be for our commercial and industrial partners. We even offer incentives for us as homeowners. So there's a broad variety of programs that ComEd offers routinely, and I'm proud to say that I've taken advantage of a few of them, and I would encourage you all to definitely at least take advantage of the free home energy assessment that we offer. What I don't know for certain is how much those incentives will be going into 2024. I feel relatively certain that we'll have some, but I don't know if it will mirror what we have for this year. So that's what I can tell you about the financial incentives that we have on our streetlight program and overall. Are there any questions for me? And thank you so much for moving me around. I kind of had this stacked on top of a few other things and still got one more meeting ahead.
I appreciate you stepping out ordinary, because I know my concern is ensuring that we have quality lights in our community, and Mr. Down has made a presentation, but there was some confusion. So I thought it would be a good idea if some of the board members wanted to have a representative such as yourself here. So that's why I've asked you here regarding PDC light distribution.
Yep, there are 2 applications pending. The total incentives for those 2 applications equals just about $90,000. So that's how much ComEd will kick in. We like to try to incentivize LED. We're trying to save our ecology, and the more that we can reduce the stress on the grid, the better that our atmosphere will be. The quality of life from LED is a bit more resilient, and they're supposed to last longer. I'll tell you, as with anything else, there are limits here and there. We've all bought a limit and called it a car. I've noticed that there have been some light bulbs, because I'm thinking I shouldn't get a call on the street light outage until after I retire, because they're supposed to last about 20 years. There has been one-offs where we did have some inoperable LEDs that ended up having to be replaced, but it's pales in comparison to the amount of calls that we used to get for the mercury and the sodium lights. So they do have a better quality of light, they do have a longer longevity, and they do consume less energy, which will reduce your light bill. Any other questions about ComEd or street lights or anything like that?
Trustee Brooks?
Always for University Park, I guess someone was telling me, most of the lights that you all own would be wooden lights in our town? Is that true?
So, I'm so glad you asked that question. Let me clarify that. Wooden lights are ComEd owned. For the most part, there's always one-offs with every situation, but by and large, all of the wooden poles are owned by ComEd, and ComEd undertook a program where we went out to every town and converted our wooden poles over. Any of the metal poles are the ones that are typically municipal owned. Some of them could be owned by IDOT, some may be owned by the county, depending upon what road they're on. But anything that's not county or IDOT owned, and it is a metal pole, it is a municipal owned street light, and you all would have to bear the responsibility of converting those lights.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trustee Jean?
So we're going to do the lights that Mr. Down is trying to come forward with, would be the metal light, the metal bulb?
The one to finish, yes. Because he wouldn't be touching ComEd stuff, he'd be touching all the ones that we own.
Right. Yeah, ComEd owns the wood poles, fixtures, arms, brackets, all of that. The municipalities own all of the metal poles. And most of them are fed underground, whereas ComEd waters are typically overhead. That's another way to delineate between ComEd and municipal.
And do you know how many wood poles versus metal poles we have?
Metal poles, Mr. Downs, I think, you know how many metal poles that we have?
Let me see, I don't know if I brought it,
Yeah, it's before. He had to go back and recount something.
And if he doesn't, when I get back to the office, I have 35 municipalities, so unfortunately I don't have everything committed to memory, although I know a lot. I don't have everything committed to memory. So if Mr. Downs can't find it, Liz, if you could follow up with me, I can send you all a report of all of your municipal owned streets.
I can tell you that you have 380 poles in the village. I don't know how many wood, comparison versus the wood poles, but we would be changing 380 poles, or fixtures, I should say.
Fixtures, yeah, the ballast, right?
The actual fixture head. We're not changing the poles, just the fixture head.
And you send the picture hits on the municipal owned street.
On the municipal,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, I can pull the report.
Mrs. Covington?
Yes, question. Okay, so with that said, have we submitted this, our proposal to comment yet?
Yes, the proposal, the application was submitted in July, and our ED person who I reached out to has consistently said that they keep reaching out to a man named Mr. Downs, waiting to get an answer, and his answer keeps being he's got to wait for the mayor report.
Okay, so how much, because I heard this proposal's been denied twice in the village, but I want to know if it comes again, how much will come and give towards the total? And what's your total, Mr. Sorry, sir, how much will the total?
269 and
$269?
roughly 269,000, and ComEd's incentive is roughly 92,000.
269,000.
She has approximately how much for ComEd being providing in incentives, and I said approximately 90. It's a change, approximately 90,000.
Mr. Dalton, the new name. Is that going to be, is that a promise, or is that committed, we for sure will get that? Okay, now with that said, so.
Well, with the caveat being, the deadline is December 15th. If we don't commit for the 2023 offering, there may or may not be offerings in 2024. There may be, but I don't know yet.
Okay, so the bottom line is only $26,900 to be for the village to have to pay. That's all our pocket, correct, sir? The cost, the total cost would be $26,900.
26,000, no.
That's what I'm asking, the question, how much is the cost?
Project is 269,000. $92,000, and that leaves the village 177,000.
Okay, that's what you want, and we got money for that, or you're trying to get finance for that, let me understand that.
Am I?
No, I mean the village.
The village.
That's what the village is trying to get finance.
Mayor
They
wants
want
to
to
finance.
$77,000.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Mayor, next.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The question was, are we financing the 177,000?
And at what rate?
I think it was at 5%, if I'm not mistaken.
Last time.
She said 5.9, first she said 6.9, and she said 5.9.
Okay, we need for sure.
Ms. Parker, thank you. You can sit down. I just want to make a comment.
Okay, and if there aren't any other questions, are you okay with me leaving? I got it.
Adios.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
In reference to this finance company, was it the village or Mr. Downs that paid it?
That's the finance company that I guess the municipalities use or whatever. We didn't pay them. I put it that way.
We didn't pay it?
We did not.
Okay, it was a little homework on it, and I maybe want to double check. Is that the same company that is financed Tiffany Henry's truck? From Dalton?
What you asking me?
Was that the same company?
I don't know anything about Ms. Henry's truck.
It's all over the news.
Sure was, sure is. I watched it.
If you don't know, you know that. She bought a $150,000 SUV. And the news, whatever it was, that's even worse because it was government money. And when you zoom the paper in, it looked just like the financial papers that were sitting out there back into my iPads. So, I think we need to have, Sometimes when you ask a detective, when a detective asks you a question, you know the answer. Already. And I asked that guy. The only thing I felt kind of funny about was when he handed us the paperwork, or when I read the paperwork, it said 6.99 all the way down. Or am I saying it? It's still below that.
It said 5.9, but he verbally said 6.9. And when you pointed that out, he said, okay, take whichever you want.
Take whichever you want. He sure did.
Who said that?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
The guy, the loan guy.
I got the material.
Yeah.
So when WGN did this story last week, take a look. The paperwork, and it's all over the internet. Whoever the lady is, she zoomed right on in. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Mayor, for a vehicle that's $100,000, I don't know what she's thinking. And that's not our fight, because we ain't fighting like them over there. We get along, kumbaya. But she just gave up $50,000 in APRs.
Right. You can use our own.
Yes.
If we decide to use this project, we don't have to go with that leasing company, we can go with our own banks.
Well, we can't, hey, look, I'm just saying, I ain't been wrong with it. And the guy came right there, he said, if you want to do, I heard you, Karen.
That was me. That was not me.
I do think I'm right at home. So I didn't hear it. So I think if we gonna do it, I don't think it should be that guy. That guy already, here it is. That's controversy. That's on the news. So who didn't see the story? I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. And trustees, we did see when he zoomed in. That was the exact application he sent us. So I'm just saying, I know what I've seen, I yield my time.
All right, we're going on to the next item. Mr. Gaylord, thank you guys for being so much patient with us.
Thank you.
You guys are up.
Yeah, you guys all have the package, and we have copies if you want.
No, that's not it, that's not it. Oh, what you had?
Yeah, you know,
What's the name?
Good evening, board. While we're passing this out, I'm going to introduce the team. We got our director.
Just saying.
Good evening, board. Rob Gaylord, Gaylord Insurance Agency. We got our team here. If questions come to rise, they each run in different divisions. Dwight Welch runs our public entity division. Christina Sefilucci runs our G-Force Health and Recovery division. Otis Gilmore runs our group benefits division. I run our property casualty division. And Dr. Primus will be talking about the tool that's exclusive to Gaylord Insurance Agency in a little bit. But first and foremost, I kind of want to get to the point where Gaylord Insurance Agency, we do property and casualty and group benefits insurance for public entities. We do it for all businesses but public entities. A division we've developed and brought the right team aboard, the right markets, right partner carrier, and finally and foremost, the correct tool that you need to bring cost savings, especially on the healthcare side. We have a tool called G-Force Health and Recovery. We also compete on the property casualty, which is the work comp, general liability, auto, and we also do group benefits. Our tool actually works on both the workers' compensation and the group benefits. And as you know, and all public entities across the state of Illinois know, group benefits and work comp typically don't go down. They typically go up. Healthcare is on the rise, work comp costs on the rise, group benefits insurance premiums are constantly going up, and I think you recently had group benefits renewal and had a substantial increase in premium. What I'm here to kind of bring is a way to discount and offer our tool to bring cost savings not only to the village, but to your employees and the employee family members. Now, G-Force Health and Recovery is just that, it's a cost savings tool. It's in addition to Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's in addition to whatever work comp carrier we bring in to negotiate pricing. What this does is Dr. Primus will get into this, but I'll just kind of briefly explain it. It shops healthcare, and the cost savings goes to the employee. A percentage goes to the employee and goes back to the village. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a quick scenario. So if you guys contract with Gaylord Insurance on the work comp, property casualty insurance, group benefits, we give you this G-Force Health and Recovery tool for free. We're the only broker in the state of Illinois who has access to this tool. So as you guys know, when you get your group benefits renewal, people come in and they offer a group benefit and say they shopped it out, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, we've done this, that, but we know in unions and public entities, typically you have to stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's what everyone wants. So you're kind of stuck with that increase. What we offer is a tool to bring cost savings. And in group benefits, we can become the broker anytime. Even if you just renewed your plan, it's a month-to-month contract, we can become broker now, work on the cost savings in the plan next year. But right now, since you absorbed a large increase on your group benefits premium, we can bring this tool in now to start offsetting costs that you guys, the village has eaten by bringing G-Force Health and Recovery. Again, no other broker in the state of Illinois can offer this tool to any public entity, both for the workers' compensation and for the group benefits. Just a quick scenario how a cost savings could work and how easy it is to use. We have a tab on our website called G-Force Health and Recovery. So whether it's a work comp injury or a group benefits injury, you guys would just simply go to our G-Force Health and Recovery tab. Your employees, after we educate them, you would go to the tab, your injured employee, click on it, tell them what injury you have. It goes to our personal concierge. A cost savings is then provided to the employee, which they choose, and they get to share in that cost reimbursement. Dr. Primus will get a little bit further in detail, but just a high-level overview of it is that by using our tool, you get to kind of keep your same doctors. It just shops facilities, and the village and the employee will receive a cost savings, which could be very substantial, especially across the whole village. So say it's a $10,000 savings for a back surgery, the employee would get $2,500, and the village will get a reimbursement of $2,500. Nothing changes on your group benefits plan. You don't lose any coverages. Your plan stays the exact same. We're just administering your plan and giving you access to the G-Force Health and Recovery tool for free. It's really a win-win option for the village and its employees. There's really nothing but a cost savings, and it's a proactive approach. A lot of brokers take reactive approaches by getting the renewal in and saying, all right, this is Blue Cross Blue Shields or the work comps, 13% increase, 20% increase, this is all we can do. Blue Cross is Blue Cross. They're the, only game out there because you have unions and you can't go to United Healthcare or Aetna or Humana. This is an option, this is a problem solver. It's kind of a game changer in the insurance industry. We just need to educate your employees on it, and by becoming your broker on the group benefits and work comp, we come out, educate your employees how to use the tool, and we'll have a link that gets sent out so they can share with their family members as well, because it not only extends to the employees, it extends to their family members. So it's a cost savings tool, and well, first of all, this is question and answer, guys. So if you have any questions while we're up here, because it's a new concept to brokers, we're the only broker who can send it out. It's currently being used across the nation. It just has not been broker driven, and I think that's how we got the exclusive with it It needs to be sold to brokers because we go out and we educate employees on group benefits, we educate them on safety on work comp. Now we can bring this tool to the employees and bring in additional cost savings where otherwise the village, public entities, are handcuffed with Blue Cross Blue Shield's constant increases. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Okay, so is this policy where you can go anywhere, is that what you're telling us?
Yes. So nothing changes. You keep your current Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. I am going to introduce Dr. Primus on the tool here shortly, so he can get into the actual specifics of it. But yes, Doc, you want to take the tool? Okay. So guys, this is Dr. Primus. He's the doctor, so I will defer to him on the technical questions. Dr. Primus is from Chicago Sports Orthopedics, and he'll speak a little bit more about the tool.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I represent the technology, if you will, Health Engine. The name of it's called Health Engine. And it's a proprietary technology in the healthcare field that we are selectively allowing certain brokerage firms, and here in Illinois, Gaylord, we chose Gaylord, they chose us. The timing is such that recently, in last year, 2022, we got a positive OIG favorable opinion in terms of how this process works, because in healthcare, how money is redistributed is probably the most heavily regulated in all of industry. So in any event, this is a technology that allows cost savings that can be redistributed to the patient, to the employer, and also back to the insurance company themselves. So it's agnostic to any insurance plan, so it's not a policy, it's not a network. Basically what it is, it's a transparency model, and it uses the marketplace to compete facilities against each other to reduce costs. And so it serves as a concierge if you have an employee that needs an MRI. Let's take MRI as an example. All right, there's such a variability of cost in getting the same MRI study at the same facility based on plan and who happens to walk through the door. Right? So you can get an MRI for as cheap as $250 or pay $2,000 for the exact same study. So what this technology does is it has the information, right? It has the transparency part of understanding who's charging what and where and why. They use that data to then compete different facilities for the business. And that's how they're able to drive costs, just like any other industry. It just hasn't been done in healthcare. So that's kind of a very elementary explanation of how the process works. Any questions?
So, my colleague, who I guess how can we ask this question? Are you guys like a supplemental insurance to?
So we're not in insurance at all.
Not insurance.
It's not
supplemental like broker or like
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
No. So right. So we're if you are a patient and you use your insurance and for a procedure at a hospital and you can't pay, you negotiate with that hospital a discount, whether it's because of financial hardship or maybe if you pay everything at once, they may give you a discount. There's negotiations that's taking place.
Right.
What this entity does is negotiate on behalf of the patient to achieve a real cost savings from the facility. So just to back up and give context of how healthcare expenses work, about 90% of all the costs in healthcare are tied in facilities, the brick and mortar. And there's no association between the care and that cost, all right? Facility fees, hospital fees, just simply walking into an ER you're going to pay an enormous amount of money, and no one can explain why. Where's that cost coming from? What is that attributed to? What's the value? About 7 to 8, 9% are actually physician costs. So the bulk of healthcare spend is in brick and mortar facility that nobody can fully explain. So there's ample opportunities to reduce that cost. So what this entity does is it goes to the facility and says, look, if you charge 100, will you take 60? Okay? If you take 60, then we're going to reclaim that 40 as the negotiated overage, okay, and redistribute that $40 back to the patient, employee, and back to the plan. So it's an agreement between the patient and the facility where the bulk of the money is actually being spent.
So you call brokers for the employees?
Can I
Okay.
So, say you need an MRI.
Right. Just have it.
Me too. So
We could have saved a lot of money.
So the company's gonna look around and they're gonna say, if you get an MRI here, it's gonna be $10. If you get an MRI here, it's gonna be $20. Whatever deal whatever arrangement they come to. And then they're also gonna negotiate into it money back for the employer. This is what I think you're saying.
Yes.
Money back for the employer and also patient. /employee.
But
So
how,
they are the ones that look around to see, like the cost comparison.
but again, okay, so a person has an HMO and they're tied to specific providers. How is that gonna work with them? When you can't go out of the network, you gotta stay within this network, you gotta go to who your plan allows you to go to, then what?
It doesn't work for what I call managed cost plans, but here's what's so ironic about that. The managed cost plans actually cost the most because it's driving the most expensive care to hospitals. So this is a plan for people who have choice, because with choice you can compete in the marketplace, right? So it's commercial plans, work comp, but as we evolve, we will want to try to engage HMOs and manage affordable care organizations because we can actually save them a lot of money. They're driving the most expensive care to the most expensive places.
But your HMOs are more affordable than your PPOs. Your PPO allows you to go to any provider, whereas with the HMO, you gotta stay with that network. So usually those plans are more affordable.
Your premium for an HMO plan is more affordable, but that's getting us into a whole nother conversation about healthcare costs, and I would love to be invited back in terms of, what that means to the average citizen. But
I was over the producer marketing area for Blue Cross. I have the brokers, the producers, the agents, they all went through me. So I have a wealth of information when it comes to healthcare.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't completely understand everything that you're trying to say or do, because I know a lot of my members from my local have the HMO plan.
right, this is
one of fair.
again, this is a tool that's for people who have choice. Because with choice, like any and everything you do in commerce involves you having the ability to assess value. Right? How do you do that? The clothes you're wearing, the car you drive. You can shop. You can determine what's important for you, what's valuable to you. If you want name brand, if you don't, you have that opportunity in everything we do. The only aspect of our life we don't is healthcare. We get a bill, which is a surprise bill, and we then go broke. The number one reason for personal bankruptcy in this country is healthcare related expenses. We talked about bringing it back around what you guys were debating about earlier, people losing their home. But the number one reason someone loses their home in this country is a lawsuit over a hospital charge. Okay? There's nothing more expensive that we've experienced in the last 20 years than healthcare costs. Not only healthcare costs, but hospital charges. So hospital charges have rose 250% in the last 20 years. There's nothing that even compares to that. So this is one tool that we have to fight that. And how do we fight it? Not through HMOs. It's through the individual having the power, having the choice to compete in the marketplace. Only through competitive markets can you truly reduce costs. And that's what this tool does.
I have one simple question. How do you pass that?
So, again, I'm a physician that utilizes this tool, but the proprietary company that drives the technology, they get 30% of the cost savings as cost savings are realized. So they don't get paid a cent unless the patient gets paid first. If it's organized through an entity, like the Village of University Park, if it's organized through an entity, then you guys share in that cost savings. So you will receive cost savings, your employee will receive cost savings, and part of that cost savings goes to the technology firm.
And guys, if you pull out in your packet, there's just a sheet here. In the bottom left corner, there's a breakout of where the funds go to, just so you can see how you don't get charged. Because the actual savings, 30% that's taken from the tool, and us at Gaylord Insurance, we make money on the workers' compensation, the group benefits, so we don't charge for it either.
Just to put this one last context, so the Affordable Care Act mandated that when it was passed during the Obama administration that physicians and hospitals become more transparent, right? It was finally passed under the Trump administration. It mandated that because they saw this problem, this burden on our society, right? And they thought that by making costs transparent, that it would somehow reduce costs. You think it would reduce costs? No. So just having, first of all, most people don't understand health insurance. They don't understand copay, deductibles, out-of-pocket, max, all these terms and all these things. You get a medical bill. You need a special degree to interpret your medical bill, right? So there's companies that popped up that are transparency tools, and they market to entities. They market to villages, they market to municipalities, they market to Fortune 500 companies to bring transparency to their employees. And they charge. They charge a lot of money for this transparency, but it hasn't shown to truly reduce costs. Why? When someone gets hurt, they're not thinking about, I'm gonna look and see about what I heard 2 months ago. And they do what they're told. The doctor says, go get an MRI down the hall because I own it. I'm going down the hall. Or you need surgery, or you go to the hospital, or you go to the surgery center that I own, right? So we're not thinking as consumers. We just follow what we're being told. Well, this is one of the only, it's the only entity, it's the only platform, if you will, or tool that not only uses the transparency, okay, to create the marketplace, but in doing so, it creates a competitive marketplace to truly reduce costs on behalf of the patient. So this entity is truly working on behalf of the patient, the employee, and the employer if done through the employer. This doesn't have to be done through the employer, but when it's done in an organized fashion like this, then you truly can receive cost savings separately.
Or other places, municipalities, companies, where
simple individuals, doctors' offices, hospitals. Again, it's ubiquitous. It's a force that's.
Okay, so let me rephrase my question. Gaylord itself, like where are you?
Yes, sorry. So your question was what other public entities are using it, what other?
Yes.
So right now, it's currently in Local 399, it's in the City of Chicago Fire Department, but we have it in the Village of Burnham, we have it at Daly's Ambulance, we're putting in several other public entities, we have it in a lot of private sector companies. Again, we rolled this tool out this year, it's been around for quite some time. It's really a game changer in the insurance side of things, because what we plan to do is have a proactive approach for once for an insurance agency. We like to gather this money in when we're educating your employees, and this money's coming to the village. We'd like to have that pooled into a trust, a fund that the village has. You guys can do whatever you want with the money, but our suggestion would, guys, pool this money that you otherwise would not have. And now let's go raise your deductibles a little bit, or put it towards an HRA for the health insurance side. A lot of it still goes back to employees, but it's just an additional cost savings that you wouldn't have otherwise by going your traditional route. We as brokers, we still go out and shop your plan on the work comp. We're contracted with every work comp carrier in the state that you can get. We're contracted with every carrier. Whether it be Liberty Mutual, Travelers, Hartford, Illinois Public Risk Fund, Illinois County's Risk Management Trust, and the work comp. We're contracted with everything. We do our due diligence there as well. But this is
more workers' comp. I keep getting the word work comp, so you want the workers' comp employees, right?
Both.
So the reason why work comp is because work comp in Illinois, it's a free, the patient has free choice. So again, in order to create the marketplace, you have to have choice. So I have to have the ability as a consumer to pick 3 facilities. And that's what gives the power. Because what's never existed in healthcare before, facilities negotiate with insurance plans with the assumption that you're going to always go there. So they're going to have your business no matter what. But now, to say, look, you negotiate this price or it's 0, because I'm going to option B. Or I'm going to option C, and you get 0. So that's what makes this tool so powerful, is that either you compete or you lose, and the patient and the entity wins. So you have to have choice. So work comp and commercial plans, right? Those are the plans. So commercial, any PPO plan where you have the choice to go wherever you want to go to get your medical services.
Ms. Scott, question. Most of our employees are HMO, am I not mistaken, or PPO?
No, the majority, I'd say about 97% of our employees actually use the PPO because of the expense of it. So I think we have less than 5 employees with HMO.
Yeah, and guys, board, you cannot steer healthcare in Illinois, so this isn't a choice for the employees. We don't make you use this tool. We educate your employees on using it, and quite honestly, once they're educated, why wouldn't they use it, as it's a cost savings tool? They're going to receive money back in their pocket. The village is going to receive money back in their fund. It's kind of a win-win. There's not really a downside.
Right, it's still like a supplement. How can I say? It's not a supplement. Let me get a final word. If you, because I've seen it before, where the employer offer a program, because you all, it's not the same as if you eat healthy and so forth, and you're not part of that.
That's a wellness program, and we offer those as well. That's just, it's another tool we can offer. We can offer wellness on the group plan. That's just an additional tool we have. This is a tool that is not
negotiating though.
This is, yeah.
If it comes to the employee wanting to see a specialist or receive some treatment, you all would be that advocate for that employee to have the cheapest. Am I hearing that correct?
Yes, that's a perfect understanding. Because again, where the real cost happens is imaging and procedures. Right. It's not going to the doctor's office for the regular visits and exams. That's not what brings people, or for entities, especially when you get on the work comp side, what causes that increased healthcare spend? It's surgeries, unnecessary care, big procedures, big expensive procedures where these hospital facilities charges are enormous, right? So this gives us the ability to reduce that huge hit and return, think of it as a redistribution, if you will. Robbing to pay the. So that's how we're looking at it.
I Is there a separate premium for this? I mean.
No, again, it's outside of your insurance plan. It's not part of your insurance plan at all. Here's another benefit. So all cost saving or cheaper routes to pay for your healthcare services, this is just you paying. So Aflac is a supplemental. It's just you're paying another insurance. That's all, right? You're just paying another insurance to supplement your insurance.
What's your point? I mean, what is your benefit in it? How are you being paid?
So normally with the commercial plan, you have deductible, right?
The savings.
But you pay a deductible. If you go to an MRI facility that's cash and say, look, I'll give you a discount paying out of pocket $300 for an MRI, that never touches your deductible because you're paying that discount outside of your insurance. Or if you go out of network for a surgery at a surgery center, they'll say, well, your deductible is $5,000. But if you pay this outside of your insurance, we'll cut you a deal and you'll owe $2,500 or $3,000. These are the deals that's taking place all the time, right? Well, that $3,000 that you pay never touches your deductible. So you're still on the hook for your deductible. If you get sick and you end up in the hospital, now you have this $5,000 deductible, even though you paid $3,000 for a procedure earlier in the year. These are the scenarios that are causing bankruptcy for our citizens, right? What this program does is the only cost savings tool that requires everything to go through your normal insurance plan as it normally would. So you pay your deductible, right? Everybody has to get adjudicated. The facility has to get paid by your insurance. If you have a $2,000 deductible, guess what? You have to pay into that deductible. Once all of that gets adjudicated, then this technology health engine comes up, reclaims the overpayment, because in order for that facility to have received your business, they would have already pre-negotiated and agreed on a separate rate. You follow? So Health Engine then reclaims that overpayment and pays you back that cost savings.
And then you guys get paid some of that.
And then we get paid 30% of the savings, of the cost savings. The patient, and again, depending on how it's being structured, the patient may receive 25% in the entity, and it's a group savings. Because if the entity is receiving 25% of the savings, then they're going to make the policies much more favorable for their employees.
So how much does the village have to pay? Is there an upfront?
There is no cost.
Okay.
All of the costs, there's no cost at all for the employee or the entity. Again, the only money exchange is the exchange from the facility paying the employee, and Health Engine G-Force is actually just brokering that deal. And again, the only way it works is through transparency and competition. Because most facilities are sitting at 50 to 60% capacity, right? ORs are open, MRI slots aren't being used. Their staff is on Indeed, looking for another job, or Facebook, or social media. And they're like, look, I'd rather shoot another MRI scan, even at a discount, and have volume than be sitting empty. Hotel.com, right? For a hospital, their overhead is relatively stable. They have to have their lights on, they have to have their staff. So the 90% of their cost of doing the procedure is already tied into their overhead. So it makes sense for them to actually negotiate a deal that's going to bring volume. They're still going to make a profit because they're still sitting on all that overhead anyway. And so that's what Health Engine is able to do, having that understanding of how this really works, to negotiate these type of cost savings.
So how much?
So are you all this negotiating,
I'm sorry.
with all this negotiating, would the patient end up getting a subpar care?
No, because these are places that the patient, so we're only negotiating at facilities that the patient either is already going to or you're comfortable going to. So you'll have an opportunity to look at certain facilities and make that decision. We're never going to compromise quality. But for instance, I do a lot with Advocate. So Advocate Healthcare is one of the 5th largest healthcare systems in the country, right? There's some agreement and disagreement with that, because it all comes down to the physician that's caring for you, and whether it's Advocate or any academic hospital or any hospital for that matter, it can be bad, especially for us.
So guys, I have a real life example of it. My son used the tool through our company, Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. Maybe this will help better how easy it works. So my kid busted for Ohio University. He ended up hurting his hand, came home to get a hand surgery. And we went through the G4 Recovery tool, which is the tool, and they gave us a couple options. At the time, we were in Orland Park. There was an outpatient facility 5 minutes from our home, and there was another facility that was 50 minutes from home. We chose not the huge cost savings, which was 50 minutes from home. We chose the 5-minute one. But we went through Blue Cross Blue Shield, paid our deductible for the hand surgery. Once they received that deductible being completely paid, we received a $1,200 check back in the mail for my kid's hand surgery being done. So otherwise, we would have just been out the deductible on the deductible, and that's it. So that's how easy it is to be used, and we facilitate that as Gaylord Insurance Agency, both on workers' compensation and the group benefits. And it's a link on our portal. You get your own personal concierge who works with your employees and gets to get question after question. They can either talk on the phone, talk via email, and your employee gets to choose whether they want to participate in the cost savings or not. So maybe it works for 70% of your staff, maybe it doesn't work for the other 30. The village and its employees are still receiving a cost savings.
So it will be a program where that will be available to the employees. It wouldn't be a program that the board would have to vote on, and it would be somewhat similar to how we just did Michelle. Is that what I'm catching? So it's a program being offered to employees for cost saving on their health insurance. Is that's what I'm getting your...
So
not health insurance.
I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. Yeah. Healthcare. Right, so say for instance, a police officer enrolls in your program and he wants you to have that knee surgery, he would call you and you all would help him find the best facility and so forth, and that an officer will receive a savings as well as really everyone across the board.
absolutely. So, yep, we facilitate that program. His current benefits don't change. We just become the broker of record on the Blue Cross Blue Shield deal, and we just facilitate that cost savings between the officer and the facility wants to get the operation done in.
Got it. All right, any more questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys, thank you for your time.
All right.
I have a question. We have a question. 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 Have you make that question?
Gotta be that last one.
Okay. Sir?
My card's here.
No, it's not, it's a question to the board. Last time I was here, we were negotiating with another insurance. How many insurance companies are we gonna have in this building? I mean, I'm just trying to understand.
It's not insurance.
It's not insurance. No. What is this? I'm just really confused, because these are.
No, so this is insurance. Yeah.
It's not the type of insurance that we were accustomed to as far as your health care insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that we just all like, it's a different brand.
Okay, Mayor, is that gonna affect us as far as we need to come from?
So maybe you wanna have a conversation with her.
Mayor, is it gonna affect any costs to our our employees?
No.
They don't have to pay anything.
No.
It's just an engine, a technical engine, it's just a people. That's what I saw in the newspaper.
If I heard this correct, Mr. Mayor, it is a program. It's a program. They're not coming as brokers to replace or any of the sort of our liability and health insurance. They're a program where we can offer it to the employees and say an employee, which most of them are 97% PPO.
It's a few more we just checked, but it's still very low, around 10.
Right.
Right.
And those employees, if they feel that they want to have a procedure done, that those employees will call Gaylord Insurance Agency, which will help them when it comes to locating a place that will be cheaper to get those things done.
Okay.
And then, am I saying it correct, sir?
Correct,
Yeah.
and then we would also become the broker on the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan.
Okay. They would be brokers. Right. Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. No, I want to make sure she heard.
All right, good?
I'm good.
All right, thank you so much.
For the
The next item on the agenda is item 51C. And I just want to get the board's opinion on a multi-purpose facility or new village hall. There's some things I mean, just look at, but I just want to see what the input is from the residents and from our board as far as a new gymnasium or new village hall multi-purpose facility.
Well, we open dialogue.
Yeah, open dialogue.
Okay.
To your choice.
Okay. Well,
so let me just tell you a scenario. So you know that parcel we have right across the street, it's gonna be the fire department right in front of Thornwood Hall. That's been made for 20-some odd years. I'm thinking that maybe that would be a great place for a new village hall / multi-purpose facility on that parcel that's already on the infrastructure, everything all in there.
yeah, Mayor, I don't disagree with that dialogue, because I think that we need to take, the reason why I say the village, actually the old village hall, if you pretty much look at the map, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a map on the wall, and it was an aerial shot of this area. It pretty much looks the same. Village Hall, I think we need the old Village Hall. I think we need to have conversation because if I'm not mistaken, was there not mold or something in there where the staff is in?
I think that's all been abated, if I'm not mistaken, before Mr. Scott got here.
Okay.
Yeah. The mold and the asbestos and all that stuff,
Yeah, and I think it is one thing.
Quiet down, please. Thank you.
One thing that I think that has been discussed, and I think it is time for us to, especially when it comes to a leaky area, because we got to get away from these tables. You know, we'll sit at tables with the marquee behind our head. I think it is time for and I've seen it where most facilities, well, my own place, the Hills, Country Hills, that place when it was built, it also has a disaster area, or disaster center, right? Correct.
Yeah, okay.
The windows come, if there's a tornado, if there's a disaster, I think it is time for us to move up into the 21st century. The question will come in is that where will we start down payment?
Well, right now, we've been doing some research, and I think if I'm not mistaken, there's an OSLAD, or there's a grant coming out right now that can actually fund for a multi-purpose facility.
Well,
and then this is just a conversation because at this blueprint here, there's some things we can look at, some things that we can say yes to, because I think if I'm not mistaken, it has 3 community rooms, 4 basketball courts, an indoor track, a variety of different things. So we can either upscale or downscale. I had to do the highest scale, that way we can just pick it down. I don't know if it's calling for 3 community rooms that residents can have access to. The village hall will connect right to the other facilities. They'll have a nice, like I said, a village hall, working quarters for our employees, a nice outside fountain in the back where they can go out and do the thing. There's a track it's all in the this one. Oh, absolutely. It's in there, Trustee Williams. I think it's not.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's eight basketball courts or something like that. But also it's a revenue generator because we'll be the only ones in this area that have one. It's sickening to continue to pay all these taxes to the school districts.
I would like to see a basketball facility.
I heard you can hoop too. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a couple questions. I was gonna pay for it, that's the first thing. Somebody had thought enough to have a total plan drawn up.
Yes.
I was like, what cost that was?
That was at no cost to me. That was done about 2 years ago.
Was that no cost?
Okay.
It was at no cost to me.
I asked what was the cost for drawing this up, and then this looks beautiful. But how will we pay for it? That was my second question.
I don't have
Go ahead.
So,
Come get this letter.
and then I just think it's a beautiful idea, but it's gonna take a lot of conversation.
It's gonna take
Because, we just put one room on the library.
It was $1 million.
It was $1 million.
You say the library pays our taxes $1 million?
No. And it took us a long time to do it.
Yeah, but it started with the initial conversation.
We already have the money.
Okay, that always helps. But just to start the initial conversation, the good thing is that we won't have to do any land acquisition. I think it will be the safest place in town. Not in the community, people come in and off exchange. Police and fire right there. Single building that's right there, easy accessible. The high school will be big. Go ahead.
The location is good, but I think that when we start talking about this, well, number one, let's make sure all the other buildings are taken care of. That's number one. First.
Gotcha.
Second, I get it. I understand having a multi-purpose / village hall. And village hall should be the most important facility because, like I said, it's time for us to come out this storefront and let a business come in and do this. Really, this whole town said, we're gonna rent it, Well, I know your concept, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna do something, I think we should do, we need to really have the conversation of initiate where the money would come from, how much we would pay, and understand too with this project. Look what we did with the golf course. The golf course, we have to stay on course with these plans, and we have to find out how long it will take something like this. And I'm not talking about building something that within 4 years, we can sit here and say, look what I done, re-elect, because that's bull. We ain't gonna do that. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
That's the only way to do it.
Okay, so I'm just saying, when we had the golf course, look how it's been poorly mismanaged and planned. Poorly mismanaged and planned. So if we're gonna have a multi-purpose center, the village hall, yeah, fine, but after that, let's start talking about who managed the courts, our manpower with parking rent.
It's a whole new staff.
Because at one point, we were doing well with a parking rent.
At one point.
At one point.
Well, on the surface we were.
On the surface, yeah. But there's no way that this village, the way we were operating, that we can just totally screw it up.
No.
And we need to work on redefining.
Right. Because really, that's where I'm going with this. Is that we had Regal Farm, we had kids, we had cows, we had horses, we had everything going. And so my point is that as we sit here and we're ready to plan something out, I just think that we need to fix
what we have before we move forward.
Exactly, because everybody, even if you build that, I'm gonna tell you now, you build a new village hall and Blackhawk's still looking the way it's looking, that's not gonna look good. Yeah,
okay. So Mayor, we got, so you go down Blackhawk and you gotta do like this.
That's on the plan for spring.
Like this. You go on Raleigh Road, I'm talking. You go down Raleigh Road, and you feel like you're gonna fall in the creek. You go down Garden Drive and you look at Cityscape, and it looks like, I don't know, my daughter got an A about urban blight by taking pictures of Cityscape.
The model Cityscape or the old? We got these empty, abandoned buildings. We got the old cable studio that needs to be torn down. We got a lot of stuff we need to do. What you say?
The cable studio.
And you say it needs to be what?
Don't it need to be torn down?
I just want to make sure I heard you right.
It's mobile, right? It's mobile.
It's probably the everything up in there. And so it's like.
So my point is, the swimming pool ain't gonna come. So we still have so many
unfinished business
things to do. I love this. This is beautiful. And I would love to do it. I want to do cartoon, but I can't get one right now. I got to
stop playing. I know you can. But in the meantime, I'm 100% agreement on getting these things done around the community. I'm a strong advocate on getting Burnham Drive and Blackhawk done. If I'm not mistaken, those are on our introduction to come in the spring of 24. So it's one day at a time. It's been years and years before we got any streets done. So we're on the path. When we come up with a 5-year road program, then we'll know what streets, and we'll be able to tell the residents, well, we know for a fact that Burnham is getting done spring of 24. We know that Blackhawk is getting done. We know the other streets, and then we can just prioritize, just the same way we do with the other situations.
If we had our committees running like they should, especially like planning and all of those commissions, then you could have a plan that's a little bit more extensive than this. These are beautiful. I can. But we can have a real plan about how we can get it done.
Okay. So I guess the overall thing is just to put it out here to see if everybody is on the same page. It's obvious to all of us that there are some things that need to be done first. But we all agree that this is a good location and it's a good concept. So I guess what I'm hearing is that we need to just take care of what we have that's in disrepair now before we move on to something new.
They don't want a wish dream.
No, I don't sell dreams.
I'm just saying because at the end of the day,
selling the dream.
The taxpayers feeling that we selling them a wish dream when we say, just like we sat on that last town hall meeting, and that was beautiful. But they know good and doggone well we don't have that money to build something like that right now. Now, it's plausible what we were almost going to do with Mark Good when he offered land
for a sports arena, but stuff like that takes so much time. You and me probably won't be here when that is probably done. I'm just saying because I'm just saying it takes time for stuff like that.
It's a process.
Right, it's a process. So that's on paper. If we build it, first of all, that's a lot of building and a lot of conversation and planning. So I don't think the residents, if at least if they know that that's on our mind, yes. But I think many of them want to say what Trustee Thompson is saying. What about everything else we haven't taken care of?
Makes sense. After Mr. Trust, Steve Trust.
Listen, why don't we just start with the small?
I do agree that we need facility. The location is fine with me. I agree with all the rest of the trustees and board that the main thing that you said, Mayor, is some type of plan that's needed, a strategic plan. Because although all those other facilities and roads need to be worked on, some of these things can be also worked on at the same time. So you can get grants and programs done consecutively during the same time. But I wouldn't want it to be where we're only just doing, let's take care of everything else first. Being focused on it, it should be a plan that we know that this particular quarter, this is what we're working on. This is what we're working on this time. Like you said, 2024, we're doing the roads. The other times we're doing these. So if we knew what the actual plan is, then we can have an idea of where we're going.
Okay, I agree, Trustee. I think just the idea we put it on the agenda is just to start the conversation.
Yes, good conversation, because it's definitely needed in the community, where actually the residents, the children, the seniors, everybody would make access to it.
Our children need that facility.
Definitely needs it.
We're long overdue. Yes, sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Trustee Don.
My question is, why don't we just start with the small stuff first? Like striping Black Hawk, like when I came out here in 1870, the street was striped. Now you can't find a stripe nowhere on the street. Which is something real small, like cutting those bushes down over there by the swimming pool, cleaning that area up over there like it should be. I know we don't have the manpower, but I see a lot of guys sitting around on their phone in the truck. They can go over there and cut some bushes down.
When you see something like that happen, please call. No.
But I'm just saying the small stuff like striping the street. Black Hawk always been striped.
Yeah, it has been.
And then Olmsted is not striped, and that is a street that brings all the buses to the middle school. You should be embarrassed.
Okay, off the western side, middle school.
I mean, and you're going on a trip? Please.
Okay.
Great.
Morgan?
I'd like to know, why am I just not seeing this? How come we don't get to see any of this?
You seen it for the first time, just like everybody else is. Go ahead.
Why do you have meetings among yourselves and don't include us? I'm asking people in the audience, do they know about this?
We never had a meeting.
This is the first time. This is the main voice. It's the initial first time. You might saw people up at the town hall meeting, but this is the first time that it's actually had the conversation regarding multi-purpose facilities within the job. So you're the first one and the first time I gave you my copy as a courtesy, Mrs. Morgan, because I love you so much.
That's what makes us feel like.
But don't feel that way. Understand when you put people in office, sometimes you have to remove yourself and trust in those who know to get things done.
We need to know what's going on.
So you got it, and the conversation is just gonna be starting around this. There's a lot of work to get done. Go ahead, Ron, because we gotta get out of here. He can speak for himself. He's filling in for Felicia.
Yeah, thanks. Let me get the record.
It's your right there. His name is Attorney Michael.
Mike McGrath.
Michael,
McGrath, one of the village attorneys.
okay, please continue to join us. We believe, show whatever she is, but please join us continuously.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Go ahead, Rob, real quick. We're going to the next one.
Sinkholes and everything, what's taking so long to get stuff done?
What's that?
The sinkholes and the
Well,
rest of the streets, what?
unfortunately, it won't be happening in 2023, but in 2024, we can look forward to it.
So all the rest of the main streets that we discussed last year will be taken care of?
Because there's a crossing program. As Steve says, I'm very concerned. We had public, well, that's another story. We need the streets straight. You can't tell. And I feel you can answer this. If someone coming down the street and has nothing to say, north and south traffic, and somebody hits somebody, who's at fault when there's no divider? Yeah.
Yeah, the traffic depends on what drive.
You coming south, you coming, I'm going to see it. And we can't tell which people stay on this side or this side. Who's the fault? All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Are we getting more?
It's a work in progress. It's admission, day one conversation has started today. Oh, well, I'm not here to talk about personnel, we just talking about this name. I'm not talking about personnel, no, yeah.
My question, can you continue with this agenda?
All right, okay, thank you. All right, everybody cool with this?
I just want to add a little manager's guy. Do we receive the motor fuel tax money? Yes. Okay.
All right. If I'm not mistaken, we've got item 51F and 51H. Discussion of purchase of golf equipment for University Park golf field in anticipation of the 24 golf season.
So in your packet, I included some pricing. These are pricings that I came up with when I sat down with individuals at Deer Creek. These are necessity items if you want to keep the golf course being maintained by the village and not have to hire a lawn care service company. So we did have individuals that maintain Deer Creek. They did maintain this facility for us on grounds. That's the problem. So I can't use that. So.
Can I go back to two services on the staff that's there to maintain the? So yes, so I am interested in actually hiring some individuals, some of the individuals that used to work here previously. I've had conversations about getting them trained so they know how to properly cut the grass. This is all of the necessary equipment that we would need to be able to facilitate this. We wouldn't have to come up with this money obviously right all up front. We can actually get this financed. I looked at some of the quotes, some of them range from $1,500 to $2,000 a month for each piece of equipment. Please keep in mind we're no longer paying a golf management company. So to date, in the past couple months since September 1st, we brought in a little over $50,000. And we still have some events that are going to be lined up coming up. But however, there's no point we will not be able to open in the spring if we do not get ahead of this now and purchase this lawn care equipment. So if you can see here, the estimated total is around $428,500. I also included in there because I just wanted you to see that this is a contract that was facilitated years ago. I looked up some of the older contracts with NACO, the golf court fire company.
440 for everything. So, and that's giving us a little wiggle room.
What is
So-
a beverage cart?
I'm sorry?
A beverage cart.
So a beverage cart is when, and I got a lot of complaints because we don't have one there now. So when golfers come out, especially in the summer when it's hot, there's someone that's on a beverage cart. Every golf course has one. And someone drives around and they sell things. And that's really how, so you don't make a lot of money on the golf side. You make money when you have events, you make money on the food portion. So when people drive around in the carts, they sell water, drinks, Gatorade, whatever it is that you want, and they can also bring it to you out on that cart. And it has like a section, almost like those street vendors, but it's a little more sophisticated where there's places for warming, for hot dogs, to keep drinks cold and things like that. So the cart that was there is completely dilapidated. It does not work. It cannot be used. It was garbage. It's been garbage for a long time, so we need to get that replaced. When I first came, there were complaints about the beverage cart, so we do need to get a new beverage cart. I included that in there. Also, another thing I want to keep in mind with everyone, I can afford some of the old quotes, but this equipment moves really fast because of the fact that during the pandemic, the factory shut down, Toro, Deer, all of them. So even though they reopened a couple years ago, they're still behind on production. So as equipment comes available, which will probably be grabbing equipment from different areas, not necessarily in the state of Illinois. When I was speaking with Kemper Sports, Deer Creek, some other organizations and companies, they explained to me that we have to jump on it when the equipment becomes available. And they agreed to assist with us in getting this equipment, and also we have two different options on how we can go with training staff. I did speak with Glenn Woody. I spoke with the village manager over there, who was gracious enough, the mayor also over there, to offer their staff to train. Obviously, we have to pay them, but to be able to train our employees to cut the grass. So I'm just asking, as this becomes available, I wanted all this to be upfront, but as we're able to grab the equipment, I will notify the board, we'll have the board approve it, and it'll come up on our board meetings, but I wanted to get ahead of the game and let everyone know what the upfront cost in total is going to be. We're obviously not going to spend this money upfront. We'll be lucky if we get all this equipment, I was told, by March. But I'm going to do the yeoman's try, just like I've been running this golf course without management. I'm going to continue to put this together. So I just wanted to run this by the board and to be transparent and let you know the pricing and what it's going to cost. And that's it.
I'm going to ask the same question I always ask. You already know. So this rolling our golf carts, they just supply golf carts, and that's the purchase one, right?
Yes.
And then now, this is.
Wait, which ones are you speaking of? So no, we won't get it, no. So we won't be getting it from any one place. I'm gonna look for the best price, the best piece of equipment, and what's available. That's gonna be a big determinant on whether or not we're able to get all of commercial equipment. We at least need, somewhere it says 2, we need 1, but we really need 2 minimum, they told me, for all of us. This is the basic necessity. If we get all of this stuff going, we'll be able to have a successful golf season.
That wasn't.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, you know, I'd like to see more than one example. I don't want you to email me and say, this is this. I want everybody to see it all at once, so we can make a decision about the best way to spend this money.
3 bids.
At least.
I'll try, and I'll say this, we may not be able to get 3 options on a piece of equipment. I will show you every place I contacted, what's available. I've had extensive conversation. We found a piece of equipment in Texas that we needed, one in Tinley, another one in Wisconsin. The equipment is all over the country. And Kemper is one of the top golf management companies in the Midwest for sure, if not the nation. And they told me you're going to be hard pressed to get, you're not going to get all the equipment in state, and you're not going to be able to necessarily have a lot of a selection, but I'll definitely give the board as many options of what's available. And I'll just show you everything that's available.
We can appreciate that.
Manager Scott, for all of these different items, Ms. Lee, it's basically look like it's rebuilding a brand new golf course because it looks like we have nothing. How are we going to protect these items? Because I believe the store, I don't know about the storage facility right now that it was in. Is that going to be updated or what?
Yes, so I've already made the changes of changing the alarm system. We've also changed the codes. I've even gone as far as to add sensors that weren't around the facility. For example, every single window and door now has a sensor, an activation sensor, and we previously did not have that. So there were certain areas of the golf course where you could go, and if you knew which door to go into, you could go in and you could gain access. Now, that's not the case. So.
Can we recoup, or can we be reimbursed for some of our equipment that was missing? Do we need to start a legal action or something?
So we do have an active situation going. We have I call it a working police report, because as things come up, which may not come up every day, in the beginning I found obviously a lot of things that were missing, but now not so often. But as things come up, I do document it. I do have a copy of the one piece of equipment that we did pay for. And that was for the John Deere mower, wide mower, which was $10,000. I did have extensive conversation with this gentleman from Burris Equipment, who told me that a lot of the other equipment, some of it that was in there at least was leased equipment. Some of that equipment was leased.
But what about the equipment that wasn't leased?
That was in the police report. Yes.
But do we know if all the leased equipment was returned?
That I don't know, because I don't know all of the companies where she may have leased the equipment. The only reason why I know that is when I talked to this gentleman from Burris, he did have some knowledge of that. And then I also had it confirmed by some of the employees, some of the staff at the golf course.
Okay, so it's a possibility that some might have not been returned. We'll find that out once the leasing company sets some type of deal or something, right?
Yes, but we don't have any contracts for any lease that I found. Also, I wanted to add that any agreements that Ms. Coffey made, that was on her. I did have a company that reached out to me that said that she had a large balance due. I explained to that individual that they entered into an agreement with Ms. Coffey, so we're not liable for that. I also did forward that information to our council that confirmed that.
Could you do a comparison to all the things that they claim that they have done and all the things they said they purchased, and because they were really killing the village financially as far as they said they paid this, they prepared this. Do you have a list of inventory? And then at that point, since you were talking about the cart, is they had people golfing, and I'm sure they appreciate, so how did they depreciate or did they really buy it? So I'm just saying, can we just look, if you have an inventory at all, if you're trying to get one, and then you do the comparison to see what we lost and what we don't have, at least what wasn't leased, so we can kind of retrieve something.
Yeah, I am working on that, so there's a few different things going. The active police report, we did take inventory. I'm looking at things as we go that I'm finding that are missing, and we're documenting that. That's part of how we came up with this plan and the list of equipment. But a lot of things we're really starting over from scratch. A perfect example is the aeration, when they came to do the aerating for the winter. And fortunately, the irrigation system is intact, thank God, because they came out, because Deer Creek told me they're spending $1 million to install their new irrigation system. So I was really grateful when they came out that it looked like that it was working. So those kind of things we'll be able to get by. There is a grant that I had a conversation with Antero about that I found, I think,
aside from the deck, which is Misfits, which was done by it was done by a bid, and the board approved it a couple months ago. We're still waiting on some parts. That's why they haven't started. But there's assessments of the building that need to be fixed. The heating and cooling system needs to be upgraded and looked at. So there's a lot of different things that we need to fix. There's compliance issues that we've been going through with Will County, the health department, to make sure that those items are fixed. There's small things like the ice maker wasn't working. So they were bringing ice in, so the ice maker is now working. There's sealants around the large refrigerators. So it's little things, it's big things. We had to replace tongs, we had to replace toilet paper, paper towels. It's little things and it's big things, but I have a list of the larger things that need to get done. Whatever we can apply for through this grant, we plan on applying for it. The grant opens up, I believe, in May. It's actually specifically the park grant, PARC. You can look it up. I believe it's through IDNR. And if we can, we're going to go after that grant and see if we can, get some of those things fixed through the grant, so it won't be on the backs of the village.
Question.
Ms. Scott?
Did you say that did you ever hire anyone to run it? Anybody?
No. So when I came in, it was nearing the end of golf season. We literally had 10 weeks. I've extended a few days because we've had people call and say, why are we closing? People are still coming. Some people don't have an issue with golfing in 55, 60 degree weather. So we have continued to stay open, but it has been winterized. And if the board so chooses at a later date, things change, we could entertain maybe having somebody there to manage it. It might be one individual to assist me with the events. We've had weddings, we've had all kinds of activities there. That's the bulk of how we made our money. It wasn't through golfing. Making $18 per person golfing now because it's fall golf season. Fall golf means after a certain time, the peak season, the prices get cut. So you don't make a lot of money that way. You make it when you put on events. So I would like to, when things get better in the coming year, maybe look at getting someone who can help me in assisting, coordinating the events. But I think at this point, seeing that last bond payment's been made, we should consider keeping it and to just see how it would work. I don't know how long it's been before the village had possession of the golf course, but I think that we should give it a try because we have not had to pay out a management company. Like I said, we did bring in over $50,000 today. So I know that it can not necessarily be a cash cow, but we definitely, I believe, can run the facility to the point where it won't be at a disadvantage to us financially.
Can we rent it out? Are you going to be renting out for special?
We have been renting it out for events. We rent it out for the wedding and everything. You can call myself. Neva has been assisting me. So you can just give me a call, send an email, the dates, and we can go from there.
So when you say you don't know how long the village will have the golf course?
Meaning, whatever direction, in 5 years from now, they decide they want to sell it. If 5 years, 10 years from now, whatever, I'm just thinking of what we have to do now proactively for the next golf season.
I have to ask this. I had a meeting with Mr. Joyce, and he spoke about how we were talking about the farm. There's $625,000 that's supposed to be used for the farm, and he states that you are supposed to write out a plan as to. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, or are you familiar with it?
A plan? No. So
what you're going to do with.
So it doesn't work that way. When you apply for a grant, whatever you put in that grant, you have to. Right. So what I'm saying is, I can't at this point rewrite that story. When you apply for a grant, it's very specific. Very specific. You have to enter in the dollar amounts. You have to enter in every single thing. What you're changing, what you're not. If you do not fulfill that grant, on the back end of the reporting, you either will forfeit that money, you may owe somebody that money back depending on what agency you got the money from. So however that grant is is administered, we have to fulfill that. So they can't change their
Okay,
name.
hold it, guys, this is about the University Park Golf Course, not River Farm. Let's stick to the agenda until we get out of here. We got one item left on the agenda.
Okay, I have a question. The first question I had was, so you have been essentially just running the golf course,
Yes.
pretty much, in Perk Village. Are we suing Ms. Coffee and the rest for all, because all of that money we have been spending out, all of that stuff was supposed to be done. I remember several meetings.
We're gonna have that conversation as far as litigation goes in the open forum.
Yeah, we've been actively engaged with council dealing with that. I don't want to go too much into it, but like I said, we have an active police report, and I don't want to go too much money because of that.
So that's what my question is. We wouldn't have to spend our money because that money was already supposed to be spent. You know what I'm saying? All the money that was, all that stuff was supposed to be already. So.
I'm just trying to fix this stuff at this point.
Any money is what I'm saying.
If we can through legal,
Okay, and that should be used.
if we're able to, absolutely.
Have we lost money for the bond?
No.
Thank you. Trustee, yes, sir.
Yeah, if we can move to 51H.
All right, 518, discussion of appointments of the following committees and commissioners.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would hope strongly that at our next meeting, that these people are installing these committees. I don't even see my name on it. I don't see other people's names who signed up for committees. It's not on me. Who is responsible for keeping this list?
At that time, Mrs. Will.
No, right now, who is responsible for keeping this list?
Mrs. Moore.
I can't hear you. Who you
So
saying?
this list, these names here, when they apply for the application, that's where they go to, yeah.
My name is not on it.
You're a trustee, you would be a
I filled one out. I filled out one too.
But as a trustee,
I know.
you'll be a liaison, not a member.
I must not even be a liaison. We had a veterans event. Nobody told me anything about it. I found out because I just happened to drive down the street and saw the sign. I already had a commitment. I couldn't even read it. And everybody knows that. So I just feel like somebody is dragging their feet about these committees. We need this. We need it. And people want to do it. So
I didn't receive the email on that, so I don't know.
I thought everybody did.
But it was after I had already made a commitment to something else. I didn't get it in time.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
For the police and fire commission, are they at 4 or are they at 3?
They're at 4. And you know what, there's some other stuff. Maybe I'll ask you to talk to Commissioner Martin about some classes we just took regarding the police and fire commission. That's not my thing, so I'm not going to talk about it in public forum.
Yeah, I think he did call me, and I kind of, a roundabout way, I think I heard it, and it was in reference to that the seat, in reference to if you had a seat that was open, that say that commissioner had resigned or retired or any of the sort, that seat was to remain open until you would appoint somebody to it. You might have misheard it. So either way it goes, that it falls back, well, under that ordinance, the ordinance is just, you did not appoint nobody to that seat. So he may have misheard it. It's a state law. Tell me if I'm right. The state law for a commissioner is that usually the commissioner, I know, well, we do it different. We went to training seminars. Some of them guys have been appointed one time and they've been there 25 years. We seem to be the only community that constantly change, and really, to be honest, the Police and Fire Commission Association looks at us kind of funny, and that is kind of embarrassing to be like one of the very few black faces in that doing those training seminars to continue to have different commissions.
Yeah.
So I think what it was that I think he might have misinterpreted the law that says that if a commissioner resigned, he could not resign, which I'll talk to him later about. That was what he was told. He could not resign. That's not true. What happens, the truth is that that seat remains open until the appointment is officially made. So, I think that I see the two names are one here, Mrs. Covington, and then Bobby Greer. That I think that if we don't have two names, one, we should decide which one.
Five.
There's 5 in here. Usually it's 3,
five.
but other communities have 5.
Yeah.
It's standard terms, so it's,
Yeah, I see you have two, and I know Commissioner Greer she definitely has her certification and experience. She sat as a past secretary, and she sat as a past secretary and a past vice president after I left. She was secretary when I was the chairman and vice chair after I left. So I see we have two applied down here, but I think if we're going to make decisions, it's for a commitment, especially that commission, that it's a wise appointment. A wise appointment.
I heard you.
Okay, I'm just saying, right, because you cannot play, I see this commissioner with your hand is up, but that's one of the commissions that I think the only way this village is going to move forward with the manpower is that if we have, now I've had conversations, I've heard some people tell me that commissions or that some towns are a little different compared to when I was there 6 years ago, that officers are jumping from town to town. I don't know about it. I haven't spoken to those type. I can only tell you that in 2015, when we initially did the test in here, we had over 100 some officers in testing.
Yes, don't we got testing coming up? Yes, we did. Yeah, we got testing coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday.
Okay, yeah. And I do hope that it's over.
I hope we get a good turnout.
A good turnout. And what else I was going to say? That we had a good turnout. And then also in reference to our current police officers. There were police officers, I think, that we took the step because only 6 officers took the exam, the sergeant's exam. Us as a commission, only through experience and understanding, me myself, we had dropped some of the pass-fail requirements and ranked them upon that. And so that there were officers that still had a chance to come through. The problem that I have, at least when I'm talking about this commission alone, is that if we don't get our act in order, we're not going to have any firefighters and we're not going to have any police officers on these streets. There's no use of Miss Scott going out leasing some damn cars and being got no officers. And the reason why I say that, and I mean, I give it that the officers were patrolling. I appreciate it. But it's not going to.
We need more than what we got.
We need more than that.
We all agree.
This should be at the point that they bumping into each other out there. That's how many officers you should have out there. It should be to the point that officers are bumping into each other. He going this way, he going this way. And just like the other day, we're coming down, what's this, University Parkway? I don't see a police officer, but I can't question or call the chief and say, well, you're a police officer, because he only got 2 or 3, and they don't work 16-hour shifts.
But just for the record, everybody who knows, who's listening to the broadcast, know that we have 10 to 12 officers on the streets every single night, for those who are observing. So, yeah, we are short in some areas, but our 10 to 12 officers that patrol every single day are making sure our residents are kept safe.
You know they laughing at you, right?
I know they are. That's all right. That's all right. Is there a motion? Second? Oh, wait, no. Trustee Fitzgerald?
Committees and commissions that, yes, of course, I'm for it, but I want to please hopefully make sure that the residents that have volunteered on those committees that have expired, the term have expired, for you all to make sure that the letters get sent out to the residents, thanking them for their service and asking if they're interested in volunteering to any of the other committees. Please be added to the letter
so much. There has been a motion by trustee Brooks and a second by, McFadden.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
About the finance committee. So, can we say this now, or we're just going with what, trustee, Brooks has said?
Let's get them on there. People on the list, let's get them on there. And what's your question? What's your capacity?
Okay, that's my thing. I think we only need two, and it's like 4 people now.
Okay.
So,
We gotta make the right point, like trustee is, she's on that committee, she knows who's showing up, who's